Hey, folks, my guest today is Andrej. He's a lifelong IT nerd and founder of DataLab, the ERP leader in Southeast Europe. He then did the IPO and caught interest for farming and started development of farm management information systems, now building datalab.eu. Andrej, you ready to take us to the top?
Sorry?
Are you ready to take us to the top?
Oh, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, sure.
All right. Very good. So just to be clear, DataLab IPO'd or your prior company IPO'd?
No, DataLab IPO'd actually.
Okay.
We were the first technology IPO on the Ljubljana Stock Exchange. It's rather a nascent market or a very sleepy market, so we did not get the bank from the listing that we hoped for.
So
Also,
this is the stock exchange in Slovenia that you IPO'd on. Why did you want all the pressure of being a publicly traded company? Why not stay private?
well, we firmly believe in employee stock ownership, and it was very problematic to do it under the local legislation. Basically, the only way to really put it properly in place was to get listed
I see.
when we were there. So that was our main actually goal, not so much raising capital, but establishing value of the company.
So when did you guys IPO?
June 30th, 2008. So
Okay,
we got,
2000.
yeah, three
Got
months
it.
before everything went down. So
And what was revenue back in 2008? Do you remember?
I would say 4 million, something
Okay.
like that.
And what have you grown it to today?
So today we're closely to 15, and
One
but we're
five.
1.5, yeah,
Yeah.
and we're stepping up. We're stepping up extremely in the last 2 years. So we hope that we'll be hitting the 50 in probably 2 to 3 years.
Now, before we go too deep on the economics, tell me who's buying this. Is it small farm managers or folks managing thousands of acres of farmland?
Mostly, we were successful with the large farms.
Mhm.
What we found in farming is that it's the basic business principles that are extremely hard to make because you have such a variable environment. You see, when you think about a factory, you have a predictable environment, you have a everything that under control. While if you go planning for the farm, you got all these variables and very complex processes and stuff like that. And that's what we actually wanted to simplify, to really get an overview over all the resources in the farm and to help you plan, basically to help you manage your farm the way an industrial production would be managed.
And so, how many farmers do you pay for you today?
So I would say that we have roughly 500 farms, but I think our biggest is 120,000 hectares. So sorry, not.
That's your largest. And so, the largest customer? What do they pay you per year?
We price our software per asset. So basically, you would be paying us per cow or per flock of sheep or per hectare of land or orchard or something like that. Um, we're charging, depends on the market, but we would be charging from 1 to 1.8 euros per hectare per month.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now, imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right. So the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise. They sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. So can we take 120,000 hectares times 1.8 times 12? The biggest customer pays you 2.5
Yeah.
million.
Well, it was a first customer, so it's quite discounted.
I see.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you have anyone paying you more than $1 million per year?
No, we don't have anyone. So
Okay.
the largest invoices or projects that we're making are 100,000 per year or something like that.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is
Got
roughly.
it. That makes sense. And I mean, you're now public. Any plans to go private again? Are there any advantages to going private?
Yeah, just in the process of taking the company back private, and got in some investors and then scaling up.
How much do you have to raise to take the company private?
4 to 5 would be enough.
$4 to $5 million.
Yeah, it was 4 to 5 million plus what we have spare actually for the stock buybacks. We would be able to remove almost the complete free float from the market and delist the company.
I see. So, and how much cash do you guys currently have on the balance sheet?
Mm, I can only tell you. I can't tell you currently, but I think in the last quarterly report it was 3.5 or something like that.
Okay, so 3.5 of your own cash plus raise 4 or 5 million, then you could use that money to take the company private.
Yeah, with these.
Interesting.
Actually.
And so, what I mean, why do that? You went public for a reason. You don't like it. Now you want to go private. What didn't you like about being public?
Well, first of all, being public on a backcountry market is not the way to go. And we thought that the financial markets will consolidate, and we basically hoped to get a backdoor to also to some larger stock exchange, that either the Vienna Stock Exchange would buy this, the Ljubljana Stock Exchange, and we would be automatically listed and stuff like that. Unfortunately, by in after 2008, everything went south, and those plans did not materialize. We did not establish full potential. We're stuck on an illiquid market, and that became a hurdle to our raising capital because, again, being public in a unknown foreign market with unknown legislation decreases your enterprise value.
Mm-hmm. When did you start the company? What year?
96.
1996. Wow. So you did you bootstrap it from 1996 to 2008?
1996 to 2008, we were working on ERP systems for small and medium-sized businesses, which carry a lot of similarity with the
Yeah, my
farms.
question though was, did you bootstrap or did you raise capital in that time?
No, we completely bootstrapped. Actually, I went bankrupt in '94 with my previous company. So actually, we were not even I was deemed not credit worthy. So it was basically the last paycheck, a garage, two computers, and a lot of will.
Why did your last company go bankrupt in 95? What was the name of the company?
Gecko. We did wholesale of computer chips, and as it was fashion that day, we assembled PCs, personal computers, importing from Taiwan, uh, assembling and selling the fixed computers. It
And
was a good
why did it go
business.
bankrupt?
We then, well, 70% of our revenues came from brokerage of computer chips. We just loaded up for the Christmas season, and then Hyundai and Samsung are announced a new factory of chips, and the price halved while our chips were on the flight. That was the tip of the iceberg, but basically we were much too leveraged.
I see. I see. Interesting. Okay, so you launched a new company in 1996. You bootstrap it, and then how much did you raise when you IPO'd?
We did not raise. We raised zero on IPO. We simply listed because we wanted to have this valuation. But we
Oh,
did in 2010. We raised the first million for the farming. So first we raised it by the Swiss private investors, and with them on board, we raised it via a secondary stock offer on
interesting.
yeah.
So do you personally still own the majority of the business then?
I'm the biggest shareholder, yeah, but I don't own the majority.
Why not though? If you didn't raise any when you IPO'd and then you only raised a million and you're now doing 15 million in ARR, I mean, shouldn't you as the founder own 90, 95% equity?
No, actually, well, first of all, 30% was given to my colleagues, to the employees that helped us
Okay.
bring to this, and then you have roughly a 10%. You have outside investors, and so I was basically on 60. Then I truncated that. I spin off. A philanthropic foundation because I'm quite active in that one, and there went another 20%, and so I'm with 30 something.
Okay. Well,
That's
that's not terrible. Um,
no.
yeah. So okay. So you now when you take this back private, are you buying out the investors right now that own 10% and replacing them with new investors? Is that how that works?
Probably, yeah. We'll probably buy a lot of also a lot of employees and ex-employees, and the small holders, and also our shareholders are basically a banking fund that needs to exit if we exit the stock exchange, it will cease to be a public company.
I
So
see.
this is the pool of shares.
How many folks are full time at the business today?
Roughly 200 directly.
200. Okay. How many engineers?
Development would be 95.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. How many salespeople?
20 something, but we have a strong reseller network.
Tell me about that.
Well, we're partnering with anybody that brings value. So our natural partners would be accounting services, then the subsidies agencies.
How do you
Uh,
find accounting services that specialize in farming?
well, first you go to the rural areas. That's where you have them.
Got it.
Uh, we were quite known from within the accounting community by our small business CRP, and so it was easy to speak to them.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Very interesting story here. Okay, so go to market is that way. Now, when an accounting firm resells your products, what kickback do you pay them on the 30,000 a year contract? Do you pay them 10%, 20%?
It's a bit. Mm, it's somewhat more in the first year and a bit less in the second and third year, and then it ceases.
Does it ever stop or does it is it go on forever?
Yeah, no, it stops. Perpetual commissions are a killer for the business because they sooner or later your partner will start treating that investment as a pension fund and will lose incentive to sell more, and it's a death spiral.
Mm-hmm. So just to be clear, you stop kickbacks in year 3.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Year 1 or year 3, it really depends on deal to deal. It also depends on the uptake. You cannot, or usually you don't implement our system in a big bang. You would
Mm-hmm.
start simply first getting the materials under control, the quantities, then going into the fixing ordering, then HR and stuff like that. So it would be an onion, and depending on that onion, we would also give you a commission plan.
What's the company valued at today?
Stock exchange value is, I would say, in the low 20s.
So if someone offered you $20 million all cash upfront today to sell the whole business, would you sell?
No, absolutely not.
And why not, if that's what it's valued at right now on the stock exchange?
Because, well, several things. First, I believe that the business is worth much more. If you
How
look our,
much?
we have a 3.5 mil after tax profit on a 5 mil cash flow, which is seriously cool numbers. We're growing 30%, so 15 to 30% year on year, and we plan to really put the pedal to the metal in the future years. That would be, I simply believe in the strength of the company and on the possibility to really revolutionize this. I'm not seeing many solutions like ours in the market. There are more sexy solutions. The dirty details that we're capable of handling are really what I think that makes the prowess of the software. And also, I would not be selling the whole company because, frankly, I do not know where to invest.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Land's not.
you have a philanthropy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if someone offers you 30 million all cash up front today, right? 20% of that's going to go to your philanthropy. All your investors get a great exit. Your employees get money. That's great. That's 30% there. You personally make 30% of the 30 million. Would you sell for 30 million all cash up front today?
No.
What's the
No.
number?
No, I think I would be violating a lot of regulations if the major shareholder would tell you their
Yeah,
evaluation.
you're probably right. Let's
I'm really sorry, but
let's
that's
let's wrap up with the famous 5 here. Number 1, favorite book.
my number one favorite book. Uh, the Mars trilogy.
The Mars strategy.
The Mars trilogy.
Oh, the Mars
Red Mars,
trilogy.
Mars, and Green Mars. I would
Number
say
th-
that.
Number 3 and number 2. Is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Used to. Now, frankly, I would rather go reading and following philosophy or something like that than the CEOs.
Number 3. What's your favorite online tool for building DataLab?
My favorite online tool for building DataLab. Jesus, I would be so 19th century if I told Excel, but it's
That's
still
okay.
the. But I think I'm a fan for models, and I love my Excels. Sorry.
Number 4. How many hours of sleep do you get every night?
Up until 3 years ago, so the last 20 years were 100 hours a week. The last 6 7 years are, I would say, 7,
7
because
hours a night.
I really scaled down.
And
The company is so
no,
right.
how many hours of sleep do you get per night?
Sleep. I would say 7.
Okay. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
Divorced,
A-
but single father.
Any kids? Single. One
Yeah,
kid?
single father. 2 actually.
2 kids. Okay. And how old are you?
Oh, ancient 52.
That's not ancient. You're young. All right. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20.
Something. Sorry.
Something you wish you knew when you were 20 years old.
how to get my temper under control.
You have a temper?
Oh, Jesus, huge.
I haven't seen it. All right, fair enough. Guys, there you have it. DataLab.ch launched in 1996 after his first company went bankrupt in 1995. He learned a lot. DataLab is helping farmers manage their hectares, their orchards, their cows, their sheep. That's what they price off of. One of those units of measurement. The average farmer pays him $36,000 per year. They're doing 15 million bucks in revenue today, up from 12 million a year ago, and up from 4 million back in 2008 when they IPO'd on the Slovenia Stock Exchange. He's now raising 4 or 5 million bucks to try and take the company private so he can unlock additional value. He thinks the company's worth way more than 30 million bucks. We'll see what happens next. Andrej, thanks for taking us to the top.
Nathan, thanks for having me. Goodbye.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.